My neighbors? I think they might all be swingers.
Wenn du noch nie beim Tanzen Gott gefickt hast.
When I moved to this neighborhood 2 years ago, I got this rather strange vibe from my neighbors. I live in a court in a suburb just west of Toronto. Everyone on my street seems to be very close. When the weather's nice, they'll sit on lawn chairs in the street and they'll drink and they'll converse and they'll have a lot of fun. Seem to have a pretty good time. The fact that they drink out on the street in public may sound like white trash, but the fact is, the average home in my neighborhood is $400,000. And all my neighbors have good jobs and seem to make a hell of a lot more than I do. When I first moved in, everyone was friendly and very nice, and they all introduced themselves to me, but there's just something there that wasn't right. The one guy that lives a few doors down from me, he came over one day while I was out mowing my lawn, to tell me about the neighborhood, and then went on to tell me about the adult parties. He brought up the fact that it's a very family-oriented neighborhood, but that the adults like to relax and unwind after the kids go to bed. And he mentioned that he and one of the other neighbors like to have people over at night in the summertime and in the winter, mostly on weekends. Well, that night, the party took place and a lot of the neighbors went on over, and it was pretty noisy. It lasted late into the night. And when people started to leave at the end of the night, I couldn't tell for sure because it was dark, but the guy who told me about that party in the first place, I saw him walk across the street to his own house with someone who did not look at all like his wife. Since I moved in here 2 years ago, I haven't gone to any of my neighbors' places to visit, never been in their houses, and never attended any of the parties. And because of that, they've stopped inviting me. And I'm perfectly happy with that. Since I started living here, I've also noticed other things other than those parties. Like the fact that a lot of kids in this neighborhood don't look anything like their dads. In fact, they kind of look like other guys in the neighborhood. Kind of makes you wonder. I also noticed there's a couple wives in the neighborhood that do quite a bit of visiting during the day. It seems that they visit the husbands of other wives in the neighborhood. You see, I'm on leave from work right now, so I'm home all day. And I've seen a couple of these women walking over to other people's houses minutes after the wife has left for work to visit her husband. Then it seems later in the morning, usually a couple hours, that same woman will walk back to her own house looking a lot less tidy than she did when she first went over. And one of the main things I've taken notice of is the fact that on weekends and one particular night during the week, there's quite a few cars parked in the neighborhood of people that don't live here. And quite a few of these people seem to be going to the same house every time they come here. I have a strong suspicion that there's key parties going on every time these people show up. Now this makes me wonder if I can take advantage of this situation for my own gain. You see, I'm putting my house up for sale soon. If I spread the news that I'm moving, maybe one of my neighbors will tell one of these visitors and they'll be interested in buying my house. And this way they won't have to travel far to get to these parties. Just open up the door and walk on over. There'll be no need to park on the street and risk a ticket for illegal overnight parking. And they can drink all they want and not have to drive. Just an idea though. I might be wrong. Maybe my neighbors are just super friendly evangelical types who like to get together, read the Bible, discuss what Jesus would do in crazy situations that they find themselves in today's modern world over a few drinks. Yeah, that must be it.
This is the way to put God. It's time to wake up, come on. This is the way